Hey everybody, this is Maxine Taylor with another Trumpology report. The news cycles are happening so quickly I can hardly keep up with them. I have lots to tell you, and let me mention to those of you who will be attending my Star Camp 2017, yes, we are going to go over Trump's chart. Saturday is birth chart. And so, of course, I'm going to be showing you how to do read your birth chart and the charts of your family members. I'm also going to throw into the mix Trump. On Sunday, Saturday, June 3rd, Sunday, June 4th, we'll be doing forecasting. And yes, we are going to share all of our opinions on Trump's forecast. I have the forecast worked out according to the way I'm looking at it, and I will share it with everybody out there, all of my subscribers and anyone who happens to watch my YouTube channel. So I won't leave anybody out of the mix, but man, there's so much going on. Today I want to talk about Trump, surprise, and Robert Mueller, because that's what is getting ready to happen. I am also going to touch on something I saw in James Comey's chart that I want to talk about. Now, I've already done a video on Comey. It's on my YouTube channel, Maxine Taylor Astrologer. So you might want to go back and watch that video because it's very timely right now. However, there's something I saw that I'm not sure I covered, or the interpretation thereof, which came to me in the light of everything that's going on right now with Comey and Trump. So, first of all, Robert Mueller, born August 7th, 1944 in New York City. We do not have a birth time for him. Surprise, we don't have birth times for most of the players in this in this movie, but the solar chart is incredibly accurate. So let me share this with you, those of you who are following along. As I go through each planet, I am only doing the house positions right now. I may throw in a couple of conjunctions, but it's mainly the house positions that we're talking about. Okay, first of all, I'm just going to start with the 11th house and just work my way around. You know, it's a circle wherever you start. It doesn't matter. You're going to wind up where you started. That's the beauty of the horoscope. So with Uranus in his 11th house, he is a humanitarian. His karmic group has Uranus in Gemini. That's my karmic group. It's also Trump's karmic group. And so he is truly the type of person who marches to his own drummer, and does his own thing for the good of the whole. Very, very interesting. He has Saturn in 5 degrees of Cancer, 551 of Cancer, in his 12th house. And so there's a great deal that he is dealing with from past lives, dealing with responsibility and authority and government. And so he takes his responsibility very seriously on a deep, deep level. The North Node in his 12th house says that this is a person who can work very, very well behind the scenes so that he's going to get to the truth of what's going on. The hidden stuff. Saturn is crystallization and reality and truth, not truth, but practicality and responsibility. And so his responsibility, his responding to his ability, he takes very, very seriously and very deeply. Okay, now look at this. He is a Leo, of course. He has a Pluto-Sun conjunction. This is a very strong message from both mother and father to be in control of himself as well as others that he's dealing with, but primarily with himself. Pluto is the planet of transformation, but it is, as I said, the planet of control. Which way it's going to go is up to the person, depending on the situation. But great, grand, glorious Leo is very dramatic in what it does. And with Pluto conjunct the sun, it's all or nothing. So when he lets it rip, it's going to be all the way. He has Venus in 25 degrees of Leo. And so he has this love of drama. And with the Sun and Pluto and Venus in his first house, his very strong Aries tone, it's I'm doing what I want, when I want, how I want, and I'm going to do it all the way or not at all. Very interesting. Look at his second house, 3 planets in Virgo. Jupiter in 2 degrees of Virgo creates abundance financially. The second house is not just money, it's our belief systems. It's it is very much like the 9th house, which deals with our principles, but it's the tangible response to our beliefs. It's what we can hold in our hands. It's things. So he's got Jupiter there, which means in Virgo, so he deals with great details, lots of little details. And Mercury is conjunct that, Mercury in Virgo, which Mercury rules Virgo, so he's all about getting the details and lots of details and putting them all together. And he has Mars in Virgo as well. And what this means is he will fight over the details. He will get to every single T and cross it, every single I and dot it. This also says that he has the ability to create money. I'm not sure that this applies in his dealings with Trump, but this is his chart. He has Neptune in his 3rd house, which is quite beautiful, which indicates divine inspiration or confusion, depending on where he's at. And that's why all of these Virgo planets are so wonderful. Now, he also has the South Node in the 6th house. The South Node is what we have mastered in past lives. And this is his desire to pull back, retreat, and work, work, work. Now, you might say, wait a minute, isn't the 12th house pull back and retreat? Yes, it is. But because of its connection to the North Node, you know, the North Node is the dragon's head, the South Node is the dragon's tail. It's head and tails of the same dragon. And so there is a flowing of energies. With the South Node in the 6th house, he's a worker. With the North Node in the 12th, he is a behind-the-scenes person. Now, look at that moon. It is in Pisces, though we don't know what degree it's in because we don't have a birth time for him. The moon in Pisces is a dreamer. It's an idealist. However, in the 8th house, it's a psychic detective. He is instinctively drawn to secrets. And mommy's message, because that's the moon, is to deal with the secrets of whatever is happening. He is the perfect person to head up the investigation on Trump and Russia. It's perfect. From a solar chart standpoint, there is a natural understanding of universal law. There is divine inspiration, not just with the moon in Pisces, but with Neptune in the 3rd. And there is the instinctive draw, magnetic pull, if you will, to finding out what is really going on rather than what appears to be going on. Very, very interesting. Now, what I'd like to do is share with you what Mueller triggers in Trump's chart, and then, of course, what Trump triggers in Mueller's chart. I think I'm going to start with Mueller on what Mueller triggers in Trump's chart because, for obvious reasons, Trump is the one he's investigating. So let's start at the top here. They are both born in the same karmic group, so their Uranus is in the same sign, both in Gemini. However, because Mueller's Uranus sits on Trump's Uranus, it amplifies it. You know, when people in the same karmic group get together, their heavy planets are activated even more so. The reason they came to this planet is kicked into action. So there's the rebellion going on right up there. His Uranus sits on Trump's North Node, which can be very helpful for Trump's public image, but it also sits on Trump's Sun, and this triggers even more rebellion, more drama, more showmanship, if you will, in Trump. So we can expect to see that. And a lot of you are saying, oh, well, that's a given. That's Trump. Yeah, that's Trump. And Mueller really kicks that into action. You just watch, you'll see. Okay, now 11th house. Mueller's Saturn sits on Trump's Mercury. Saturn is reality. It's a serious planet. And sitting on Trump's Mercury, Saturn is reality. And so he's really giving Trump a dose of reality, isn't he? Trump is having to look at things, use his conscious mind in a way he hasn't before, because he has to deal with reality. Now, the North Node, Mueller's North Node, sits on Trump's Saturn and Venus. And so this is very, very helpful to him from the standpoint of friendship. I'm talking about Trump now. Friendship. He can be very helpful to Trump when it comes to Trump's friends and Congress, because the 11th house in a mundane chart is Congress. And since Trump is president, I'm going to tie that in as well. Now, look at here at this 12th house. This is very interesting. Both Mueller and Trump have their Pluto in Leo. And so there is a power play going on. Wherever Pluto is, that's where we want to control. And with Trump's Pluto in the 12th house, he controls behind the scenes. He works out deals behind the scenes. And with him, it's all or nothing. That's Pluto, all or nothing. So Mueller's Sun triggers that. You might say, well, that's good. And it certainly could be. However, it's going to bring those hidden dealings to light. And it's going to increase them. Now, in addition, Mueller's Venus, which is love, sits on Trump's Mars, which is anger. When you got a love-hate going on, it's very, very interesting. This indicates that there is a natural understanding and recognition of the other person's power and ability. I've seen this for years. When you have both Venus and Mars from chart to chart, there are powerful emotions. In a romantic relationship, this is very exciting. It will be exciting in front of the camera. Just keep watching. And of course, Venus sitting on Trump's ascendant makes Trump feel good about himself. It's love, it's beauty. Trump's going to feel good about himself. Now, Mueller's Jupiter expands Trump's personality. It also expands his anger, because Jupiter sits on his ascendant and his Mars. And so what Mueller is triggering is a great deal of anger, a great deal of I want to use his word, bombastic, that's Jupiter, approach to things. And Mueller's Mars, while it doesn't trigger anything by conjunction, I'm only doing the conjunctions, otherwise it gets very confusing to people who don't study astrology, and this tells it. With Mueller's Mars in Trump's first house, he really fires Trump up. So we're going to see fireworks. Now, their Neptunes are conjunct, so they're both dreamers, of course. In this case, we all have Neptune in our chart. That's where our dream is. There is wishful thinking about money. However, Trump's Jupiter is not triggered. So I'm not, just the Neptune. And so there can be a dissolving of the money as well as a certain amount of wishful thinking about it. The South Node, Mueller's South Node, sits on Trump's vertex. This deals with gambling, it deals with sex, it deals with children, it deals with fun. And so they have had, the South Node is what we've mastered in past lives. The nodes indicate a karmic attachment. I dare say that anyone in the public eye, the way Trump is, has lots of karmic attachments. I have lots of karmic attachments to people. We don't live in a vacuum. Even a hermit has karmic attachments to the people with whom he or she comes in contact. So that's what's going on. Now, Mueller's moon is in Trump's 7th house of contracts, open enemies, partnerships, and so it deals with the public. And so Mueller is going to bring this to the attention of the public. He's also going to trigger Trump's desire to make a deal. That's the 7th house. And Trump has, written that book, The Art of the Deal. And I would give his co-writer credit, but I forget his name right now. Okay, now, we've got what Mueller triggers in Trump's chart. Let me talk about what Trump triggers in Mueller's chart. I've got so many charts, as you know. If you could see this desk right now, and I haven't even touched on Comey yet. Okay. Well, first of all, again, we're dealing with a solar chart for Mueller, but the solar chart still can give us so much information. First of all, Trump is the one in blue around the outermost wheel, his midheaven. They both have Leo ascendants, Trump by birth, Mueller by solar chart. Okay, Trump's midheaven, the leader, sits in Mueller's 10th house, and so Mueller is inspired to be the leader, puts him in a leadership position. We all got that. Okay, let's look at this 11th house. We already know that Mueller has Uranus in that 11th house. Well, Trump's Sun, North Node, and Uranus all sit on Mueller's Uranus. And so we're going to see the rebel come out. He's going to be somewhat unpredictable. I'm talking about Mueller right now. Somewhat unpredictable in the way he approaches things. Now, look at this 12th house. Trump's Mercury ignites Mueller's Saturn, giving him more, it really ignites his feeling of having to be responsible and responding to his abilities behind the scenes. So there will be deals behind the scenes. Surprise, okay? Trump's Saturn and Venus sit on Mueller's North Node. And so this can work to Mueller's favor as well as Trump's favor, Venus being love, Saturn being responsibility. And so there can be a working things out behind the scenes. Once again, we're not going to know everything, even though it will, make the news. We're not going to be told everything. Now, Trump's Pluto sits on Mueller's Pluto and his Sun. I'm going to add another line here. There we go. On Trump's Sun, controlling him. It controls the Sun. And so Mueller is going to feel Trump's control just as Trump will feel Mueller's power. It's going to be very, very interesting. Trump's ascendant and Mars sit on Mueller's Venus. There's that love-hate thing. There's when somebody's ascendant, that's the most powerful point in the charts. It's on one of your planets. The other person's impact is enormous. We talked about the Neptune conjunction, and Trump's Jupiter in Mueller's 3rd house really opens his thinking, opens his idea, opens his mind, and can be inspiring to him. I don't know if this is going to be to the benefit or detriment of Trump, but that's what is triggered. Now, Trump's Moon South Node are in Mueller's 5th house of children, of gambling, of fun. So we may find that Mueller takes more risks. Not that he's going to have fun with this, but there is an emphasis here. And I don't know how that's going to manifest. It may be more emotional, but there is the element of fun and gambling. And Trump's vertex sits on Mueller's South Node being the karmic node of all nodes. The vertex being Trump's karmic role in life. And so this is going to give way to lots of work, as we've already seen, for Mueller. So that's what we're looking at. I'll be forecasting this at some point in time. I'm just doing the birth charts now, okay? And while I'm thinking of it, so many of you have asked, is Trump going to be impeached? And if so, when? I'm going to do a forecast on him, not today. I've got more to share with you in this video, but I will give you my reading on it. I promise I will. Cliffhanger. Okay, keep watching. But I will share all that with you. And as I said, those of you who are at Star Camp will get an earful. I promise you. Now, I had mentioned that I saw something in the comparison between Trump and Comey that I hadn't mentioned before. And it occurs to me, today, by the way, is May 21st, 2017. So you see where this video falls in the Trump timeline. Trump has fired Comey. Comey is supposed to appear before a Senate committee. I think it's Senate, maybe congressional, but certainly Senate committee, before a committee and share information. Okay. I want to go back and talk about the comparison between Trump and Comey. We do not have a birth time for Comey. I know that's so frustrating. But let me just jump right in there and share with you what I've been looking at. Please watch the video I did, the first video I did on the comparison between Trump and Comey, because it gives you a lot more than I'm going to give you today. There's no need to repeat it. But we know that there is we've been told that there was a leak from the Trump administration, from somebody very close to Trump who's been with him a long time. And of course, everybody's trying to figure out who that might be. While I was looking at the comparison, Comey's planets are in blue around the outer edge. Trump's are in black on the inner wheel. And this, I'm just going to throw this out there to you. We have to wait and see how this works out, okay? What I like to do is give you the information, give you all the possible manifestations of it, and then we all sit back and watch how it unfolds. So, let's just take a look and see what Comey is triggering and does trigger in Trump's chart. First of all, what we've got sitting here, and I've only put the planets that Comey triggers by conjunction. Trump and Comey have their suns in opposition. This can be balance or separation. Trump's moon is conjunct Comey's sun. When you have a sun-moon conjunction, it is a very, very powerful relationship. This is an understatement to say that Comey and Trump are involved in a very powerful relationship. Okay. Comey's Mars, warfare, anger, competition, rage, sits on Trump's Mercury and Saturn. The 11th house is the house of friends. So I'm looking to see what that means. Well, Comey stirs up problems with Trump's affiliates, Trump's friends, Trump's groups, Trump's closest friends. His closest friends are part of his inner circle. Many of them are in cabinet positions. So that could be where the leak comes from. Comey's Uranus sits on Trump's Mars. Just firing it up. Uranus is explosive. It also sits on Trump's ascendant. And this is why the firing of James Comey came about quote unquote, suddenly and unexpectedly. I know Trump said he had been thinking about it, he'd already made up his mind, but the action and the way it was handled was very sudden and unexpected. Comey's Pluto and North Node sit on Trump's ascendant. And what this does is Pluto is the planet of control. And so there is control by Comey over Trump. The North Node there is very helpful to Trump. So it's kind of a mixed bag. Look at the fourth house. The fourth house deals with home, family, real estate. Now I'm reading this comparison from the standpoint of what Comey will bring to the hearings and perhaps what he will share, the information he will share, and the effect it will have on Trump. Okay. I mentioned that Comey's Sun and Mercury, Sun, the center of our life, Mercury, our mouth and our minds, our conscious mind, sits on a very vulnerable point in Trump's chart. It's his fourth house, sits on his moon. The moon is what we are instinctively drawn to. So his home and family, we know how important they are. Good grief, his daughter has an office in the White House. His son-in-law has all kinds of important positions in his administration. The Sun and Mercury sit on his south node. This is the area of loss and drainage in a mundane chart. This is the area where if you put too much energy there, you will be drained. Comey lights this up. So, does this deal with real estate? Very possibly. Does this deal with family? Very possibly. And for a final conjunction, look over here. Comey's Saturn sits on Trump's vertex. And I looked at that before as gambling and, oh, maybe with fun. It's children. Saturn is the planet of reality. It sits on Trump's karmic role with his children. The way this shows up is that there can be information, whether we get it, all the information or not remains to be seen, but there can be a lot of information dealing with Trump's family that we're not yet aware of. I throw the ball in your court. Be watching, keep watching. I'll keep sharing. As I told you, I will do a forecast for sure. I've been doing monthly forecasts on Trump and the United States. I want you to keep in mind that during the May forecast, and of course I'll keep this going with the June forecast, the February eclipses, the previous eclipses that we've had, are at their peak, May and June. For those of you who have an ephemeris, keep in mind, we have 2 eclipses in August. That's a little hint about what I'm going to be talking about. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to look at. So, until we meet again, this is Maxine Taylor saying, may the stars shine brightly on you and yours. And may God bless you. May God bless our planet. And may God bless the United States of America. Bye for now.